What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dream a Little. I'm your host, Lo, and I gotta say, it feels like there are a lot of dudes in this community, right? It's something I've never really understood, but that's one of the reasons why I love featuring girls on the show, and I especially love talking with other mommies out there. Our guest today is a switch, but she tends to lean more towards being a mommy, and I had so much fun getting to know her. You might know her as Little Kitten Baby on Instagram, and today we're going to be talking about what it's really like for her to be engaged to another ABDL switch and how they balance little time. If you like this episode and you want to reach out to her, you can find her and her fiance's contact info in the show notes of this episode at thelittlelounge.com/157. That's thelittlelounge.com/157. On that same page, you'll also find a video of my latest Nurturing Mommy roleplay. If you'd like a little bit of help getting into little space, or you want to experience what it's like to have me as your mommy, be sure to check that out. Again, that's thelittlelounge.com/157. All right, let's do this. What's up, girl? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
It's nice to finally hear your voice after we've been talking so much, like through chat and everything.
I know, it's so interesting hearing people's voices and like over call when you've only been texting.
Yeah, I mean, you actually sound exactly like I thought you would.
Well, the one thing that people say when they meet me in person is that I'm shorter, and everyone thinks I'm taller.
Okay, how tall are you though?
Okay, I say 5'1", but I'm really 5 foot.
Okay, that's me too. That's me too, girl. I although I say 5'2", but I'm 5'1.5", or I'm 5 foot and a half inch.
See, I used to say that, and then my man was like, "We're measuring you," and I was like, "No," and he's like, "Yep, 5 foot." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm taking an inch off of you."
Okay, well, I follow you guys on social media, so I have to know, how tall is your man? Because he looks like a giant.
Oh my god, he is 6'5", 6'6" area.
Oh my god.
And I always said I was never going to be with a tall guy, and I ended up with a giant.
Does your neck hurt from like trying to look up at him all the time?
Yes, but I've learned to like climb on things. That's my key to everything. I'm always on the couch, like always stand on the couch, or I'm always jumping off of things to jump onto him.
You know what? Whatever works. So
it's a secret.
So I know that you guys are like a switch couple too, right? Are you both switches?
Yes.
Okay.
We both are switches.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about that, because as a mommy, how does it feel to have a giant baby? Literally.
Oh, okay. See, that's the one thing. At first, it was very hard because I went from, I wanted to be able to carry my baby, like all of that, and it just does not happen. It's not a thing. But I've learned that if I'm sitting down, he can curl up and I can like rock him and things, but like it's honestly morphing our bodies together. It takes time, but over, the year, we've basically kind of bonded and been able to figure out how to work our bodies, considering I'm so small.
Right. Yeah, and the power dynamic too. So like, what do you make? Do you make him like crawl around? That's something that I would do probably if my little was tall. Like no walking at all.
Yes. Well, because like when he walks, it's just like, oh, well, he's a giant again. So it's like he's constantly like crawling and sitting, and I just honestly just love babying him. So it's kind of like, well, babies don't really walk.
That's true. It fits the role. It fits into the role.
So I'm like, what are you doing? Like he only walks when he has to. Yeah. Other than that, it's kind of like, no, you're crawling.
Okay, so as a switch couple, I'm curious to know, does one of you lean towards one of the roles more naturally or usual, or like is it like split down the middle?
See, we used to, when we first were in the dynamic together, it definitely was kind of that thing where one person would lean, like I would lean more towards mommy, and then he was just like, well, I want to be a daddy, like I want this. And then I was just like, okay, well, like I'll of course, let you have your time. But I do know that when we're both, like, there's times when we're both babies, I do know that I'm the one that's more of a mommy. And it kind of just doesn't work out. I'm more like, okay, I'm being mommy. So I would say me. I'm more of a mommy. Because there's times where he's like, I'm gonna be dominant today, and I'm like, no, sit down. And he doesn't fight for it, so I'm just like, okay, see, I win.
So he can slip into that little headspace more flexibly, it sounds like, than you can.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely a stubborn little. Like, if I don't want to be little, not like I'm not gonna be little. More like him. Like I can, like I just know how to make him into that space, and make him little.
I got you. I got you. So it sounds like you're more naturally a mommy, and then like it sounds like for now at least, and at this point in your relationship, you enjoy the mommy role a lot.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it. I love taking care of him, and that's like one of the things. And just seeing him so happy, it's like that's the whole reason why I do
I love it. I love that so much. So how did you guys meet?
it. It's so funny. We actually met on Instagram
Awesome.
about I think it's 3.5 years now. 3 years ago on Instagram. It was right when I was, I think, about 6 months into having an account. It was my old account, so I was more of a, I think I had like 14.6 followers, and he was a smaller account, and he messaged me out of the blue, and I was just like, I ignored him.
As we do.
For like 6 months. And then one night he just messaged me about something. It was something on my story. And he messaged me, and I was like, okay, like this isn't a creep. Cool. Let me just message him back. So I messaged him back, and then that's how our relationship started. I was 19 and he was he was 18, a baby.
Okay. So you both are pretty young.
Yeah, we were really, really young. I just I went through a year of, I knew that this was a community that I was a part of, so I kind of just got comfortable. And then when we met, he was just getting into it, so it was kind of a very interesting dynamic. But we were just best friends. Like we weren't immediately like into an ABDL dynamic. We were just best friends for 2.5 years until everything started.
Wow. So you would just talk about vanilla stuff? Would you role play at all?
Would basically talk about vanilla stuff. Like that's what we connected with the most. It was like, wow, for the first time we can talk not just about the community, but like on personal level. And then we kind of like slowly, there was teasing, and I would just be like, I need a daddy. Like I'm over here eating brownie mix at 3 a.m. Like, and he's like, "How you doing, Missy?" It just kind of happened. It was actually just like that. I was just like, I need a daddy. Like I'm doing a whole bunch of bad things, and he's like, I'll be your daddy. And I was just like, really? Like, really? So that was cool.
So how long did you guys talk online before you actually met in person?
I believe it was about 2.5 to 3 years, which is wild.
Right. Okay. So you have this relationship on Instagram. Did you guys, video chat or like exchange phone numbers or anything?
Yeah. So I went through a hard time, and he was going through a hard time. And, Instagram, it's just, I don't have my post notifications on. So I would go like days without messaging him. And then one night I was just like, I need to call you. I just needed to talk to him. And he's like, okay. So he gave me his number, and then I talked to him for like an hour. And then from there, it was just kind of like, oh, like I need a video chat you. Like he would say, I need a video chat you. So we went from talking on the phone to the first video chat, which I was nervous because at this time I didn't know what he looked like. Like he had his face covered the whole time, basically.
Right.
So we had our first video chat, and then from there we would video chat every night for like 5 hours.
Wow.
It was long video chats, and we wouldn't there was no awkward pauses or anything. We would have things to say, like everything. And we just connected so quickly, and that went on for, man, I think like 3 months of just video chatting for 5 hours every night.
At what point did you decide that you wanted to meet in person? Were you already established, had you already established feelings for each other by then?
Yeah, I mean, so surprisingly through like the 2.5 years to three, we did like each other. I mean, we liked each other on a mental basis and emotionally. We just didn't have the physical aspect of it. So it was kind of like the feelings were always there, but we never acted on it. And then one day he was just like, "Come visit me," and I didn't know what to say. I was just like, "What? Like you just want me to come and go on a flight and visit you for a week?" And he's like, "Do it." And I don't know, something in me was just like, "I'm gonna do it." Like I'm gonna just do it. Like I don't know how this is gonna end, but I'm just gonna go.
Okay.
So we went.
Well, at this point, you're not really even close to strangers. You guys have talked quite a bit, but still, it feels kind of like you're flying, like to go see a stranger a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, like emotionally we were there, but like physically it's totally different. Like you don't know if you're going to be awkward around each other or
Have
any of
chemistry.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you tell your friends or your family about what you were really gonna
Yeah.
do? Did they know everything?
So my mom actually she met him during FaceTime and my dad did. Actually my whole family did.
Wow.
And they were just very open. Like they didn't know anything about the ABDL side besides my mom, but like my mom knew it and she was just like, I just have a good feeling about this kid. Like you can my mom is very, very protective. So the fact that she was like, you should go. I was just like, really? Like is this a
Wow.
setup? And then I was like, okay. So I went and my parents knew that I was meeting him. My mom knew that we were both in the community. My dad doesn't really ask about it.
Yeah, that seems a little bit awkward. Wait, can we talk about that really quick? How does your mom know about all this stuff? Are you just like really open with her?
So my mom is very, very like from an early age. My mom is very open about BDSM and stuff like that. Like my mom and dad are nudist, basically. Like they go to nudist hotels and they like. I've never seen it, but like they go and I know where they're going. And
Huh.
then yeah, and my mom went into my room one day, and this is when I was living with them, and she found I think it was like a passy, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a passy and my mom was like, "What is this?" And of course, she freaked out a little
Mhm.
because she was more concerned of, "Am I in danger?" Like she's like, "Is this a?" She didn't know about the community, but she's like, "Are you like going to be safe? Is this something where you could get hurt?" Because she watched 50 Shades of Grey and immediately thinks you're getting whipped or
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I just explained it to her, and I was just like, it's just a thing. And she's like, "Okay, well, as long as you're safe." I'm okay. Like I'm not gonna ever judge you about it.
That's great. I mean, I think most people could say that they wish that their parents were that supportive of finding
Yeah.
out. Like that's great. That's really cool.
Oh yeah. I was super nervous. Like honestly, like I cried. I was like, I'm sorry. Like I tried to hide it for so long and then it was just like one thing. I think it was sitting on my desk and she was like, "What is this?" And then she did her research and she was just like, "Okay, like I understand it. Like obviously just don't be open and come out to your little brother like it's." I'm like, "No, like it's fine." So it's just been a thing that me and my mom, like my mom talks about it. Like my mom knows that I promote for companies and she's just like, "Oh, that's cool." Like she'll ask about it sometimes, but it's just a cool thing.
How does your fiance feel about her knowing everything?
Surprisingly, she does not view him as a little. Like she does I feel like she just sees him as him. She never connects the dots that we're both in the community. But she's like fine with it, but he was very surprised because he's not out, like his whole family doesn't know any of this, so it's kind of like his secret. So it's like the support from her, like knowing that she'll never judge him, it's very welcoming to him.
Absolutely. I could see how that would be like liberating and just promote good feelings where,
Yeah,
like especially if you're living in secret your whole life.
definitely.
So has this been something that you've always been into?
It's been something that I didn't know. Like I had all of the signs, I guess you could say. I acted like a little, but and I acted like a mommy. Surprisingly, I started off as a mommy more. And then I didn't know anything about it until I read a book.
What book was it?
It's embarrassing.
No, girl, tell me. I might have read it.
Girl, you know it's Wattpad, okay? Wattpad.
Okay, yeah, I know Wattpad, girl.
Girl, Wattpad, a One Direction, no shame, no shame.
Oh my God, I read that one!
Bro, One Direction fan fiction had ABDL, and I was sitting there and I was like, yes, girl.
And you're sitting there and you're like, but why? Why am I into this?
Oh, you're so into it. Like, I read like the whole story within one night, and then I went and like I just searched up a bunch of them and I kept reading them, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm totally into this. Like, there's no stopping this now.
Yeah, it's a part of you. So you were okay with it right away? Like, I know some people feel some shame around it. Were you kind of confused about like why you liked it, or?
I mean, I definitely went through a period where I was just uncomfortable with it. Like, I was just like, I would enjoy it so much and then be like, am I wrong for this? Is something wrong with me? And then I went through a time where I was just like, you know, I'm just going to enjoy it. And then I actually went to CapCon, and it was like my deciding factor of, am I going to continue this still or just cut it out? Because, you know, I got lonely and I just really didn't know what I was doing. And then I went to CapCon, and it was just a whole world. I was like, whoa, there's so many people that are into this, and I didn't even realize. I kind of felt like I had a family. Like, I know that I'm not being judged by any of the people at CapCon. And it kind of just made me realize, like, okay, I shouldn't feel shame. Like, I should just embrace it.
Absolutely. So did you go by yourself?
Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh, that's so brave.
Yeah, no, it was this thing. It's my mom knew at the time, and she knew about the convention, and I wanted to go, but I was just like, I don't know. And then it was my birthday, and the ticket sales they just released that they're selling out, and I was just like, man, I should do it. And my mom was like, go to
Wow.
Chicago, enjoy your life. I was like, okay. So I went and I got the ticket that night. I bought plane tickets the day after, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to CapCon.
Did you get all dressed up and
I don't
everything?
know what I'm doing. Yeah, the packing that's the stressful part right there. And let me tell you, you pack like 50 outfits and you only wear like 10 of them. But you have to have all the options. You don't know what mood you're going to be in.
Of course. Okay, so how easy or how difficult was it to like make friends once you were there?
It was, I would say, easy, because I did have 3 friends that I knew that I talked to on a regular basis online, that I was staying with it because I had roommates. So it was like I already had that, and then it was the first day of CapCon, and I kind of was just like awkward. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was supposed to go to people, but people knew me. And that was super weird, because people would come up to me and be like, "You're little Kim, baby." And I'm like, "Yes, who are you?" Like, and then they're just like, "I follow you. Like, you're an inspiration. Like, I love your content." And I was just like, "Whoa, okay." So, through that, I was just like, you know what? Like, I guess I do have a family here, and I would talk to people, and I actually made a very close group of friends, and I hung out with, I mean, at one point it was like 15 of us, and we would go to dinner and breakfast. Well, breakfast was at like 1 a.m. because, I mean, no, breakfast was at 1 p.m. because you would sleep.
Yeah.
Because you don't go to bed until 2. I mean, at one point I went to bed at 7 a.m. So breakfast was really lunch.
Yeah. I mean, you're partying all weekend, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, it's very, very big on partying. So, and that was my first time ever being around that environment. But it was really, really cool, because I met a lot of people that I talk to now on a daily basis that I would have never talked to, because, my inbox is always full and I can't respond to everyone.
Right.
So it's kind of cool, like when you meet in person and you're just like, wait, let me get your Instagram tag, and let me get your number, and that's just how it all starts.
That is really cool. So what's your favorite thing about, going to an event like CapCon?
Definitely the bonding. It's funny, like you can go there without any friends and you'll come back with 50 people that 100% like just gave you the best time of your life.
Wow.
And yeah, no, and definitely just seeing that you're not alone and everyone's kind of just enjoying themselves. It's a very good experience.
What goes on at these events? Like, what are the rules? Are people actually like in little space and like acting little and stuff?
Yeah, no, it's so the whole convention, it's CapCon, they have a whole con space, and that's basically rooms filled with adult cribs, adult toys, like just a whole bunch of rooms, and they have classes where people speak about, their kink of there's like one that's like being more accepting of your mommy side, and then one of like, how to treat your partner right. There's just a bunch of classes. So you kind of go and everyone's honesty in a diaper and onesie or dresses. Like I everyone's wearing a diaper basically. It's just a bunch of babies running around.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool though because you get to see all the outfits and you're like, and there's also puppies for pet
Puppies?
play. Yeah,
Oh,
for pet play. Yeah, there's a bunch of puppies and it's like super cool.
that's awesome. So it kind of merges like two different communities into one. I mean, they're kind of closely related, right?
Yeah, no, there's definitely like I saw puppies that were wearing diapers too, so it was kind of cool to see that like how they merge it into one.
Yeah, definitely. Is it hard to get into the headspace in front of so many people?
Yeah, so it definitely took me, I think it was like day 2. My friend was just like, "Here's some alcohol. You need to you need to stop." Because I was in mommy space actually the first day and then half of the second day. And she was like, "Girl, let's get you into a dip." And I was like, "Oh God." So I was like, "Okay, let's do it." So it took a while because it was like a private thing. My little space have always been a private thing. So when they were just like, "You should be little," I was like, "Okay, like I'm gonna do it." So then I did it, and then it was just like, "Okay, I'm cool." Like once you get over it, and you're just like, "Okay, everyone has one on. I have one on. I'm okay." And then you just kind of like the next day, I was like, "I'm picking out my outfit."
Yeah. What a liberating experience. I mean, I can't even imagine what that feels like. I've never been to one of these events before, but it sounds like a lot of people are dressed up as littles. How
Yes.
many caregivers do you think go to this event? Like, can you point them out in the crowd because they're just wearing
Man.
regular clothes?
Yeah, you definitely can point them out on a regular crowd because mainly there's a lot of partners that go, but you can definitely see because one person will have just straight dominant themed clothes and the other one will be little. So it's really cool, but there's not I think I met the first time I went to Capcom, I think I only saw like 5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, out of like thousands of people. So it was really, really crazy. And I was like one of them. So, I was single at the time and a lot of people would come up to me and they'd be like, can you change my dip? Can you do this? Like,
Wait.
can you baby me?
Okay, wait. How do you feel about that though?
um, so I definitely denied the changing because I'm just like, I don't know you, but my friend, she was just like, yeah, like you can do it for me, and I'm just like, considering I've known you for 2 years, like, yeah, okay, like I'll do that,
Yeah,
but
that's different. It's different when
yeah,
you know
but
someone.
definitely not the random people that did it because they were just definitely they kind of knew that I didn't have a little with me, so they were just like, "Can you do this?" And I'm just like, "No." I mean, I did baby a couple of people, but it was nothing like I wasn't changing them. I was just
Yeah.
more like babysitting them,
You're like,
and
maybe we could get to know each other a little bit first before you like ask me to do
yeah, I
this.
mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just awkward of changing, but I'm just like, there's definitely private parts down there, and and I'm not for just like seeing it right now.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
yeah,
are people getting changed like out in the open and stuff?
sometimes, yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, definitely because at night the hotel rooms are basically open, and there's basically parties everywhere, so you kind of just see, like, there's people very open about it. More like, I'm like, can you close the door and, like, not do this? I'm very private, I guess. But no, there's people that they're just happy and they do it. So I definitely saw a couple of people naked, and I'm just like, okay.
That's just part of the event, I guess. I mean, it is a kink event,
Yeah,
so I mean, it's
it
not that
is.
out there, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know that there's people that love the humiliation and part of it. I just definitely was not comfortable at the time with seeing all of it, because I was, brand new. Like, I was not expecting it. So, like, at first I was like, whoa, like, do you want me to close the door? They're like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, okay.
As long as you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. I'm not going to be
I'm
the one on
ready.
the table, but like, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I just was not expecting it. I'm like, free to express yourself, but I just was not mentally prepared to see it.
Have you been to one of these events with your fiance now?
No, we are planning on going next year to CapCon, and we're very excited, but he's never been to an event.
Is he nervous? What are his thoughts on it?
He's excited but very nervous. He's very quiet, I would say. It takes some time to warm up, and it's kind of like, he knows that I've been to CapCon 2 times, and he's like, I want to experience it, but he's nervous about people not liking him. He's just one of those littles, like, he gets nervous.
I'm sure are you like one of the only people that he's ever been little around? I'm sure he's never been little in front of like a huge crowd of people before,
No,
right?
he's been a little around 2 people. That's it.
Okay. That's very
And
different from like these kind of events.
yeah, no, and it's been private. We went to a munch, and it was interesting.
Okay, why do you say that?
I think he was expecting it to be like full on little,
Right.
and it wasn't. It was more like they were, spanking, and a lot of them didn't. We were the only ones in diapers.
Okay. So it wasn't an
So
ABDL
it was
centered
kind of like,
one.
yeah, well, it was supposed to be, and then when we went there, it was more like everyone wanted to tie each other up and spank each other, which is fine. It's just we weren't really dressed the right way. It was kind of like, oh, and it took me forever to get him into being open to going to a munch, and then it's like the first one we go to, he was just so awkward, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I did not expect it,
Yeah.
because I've hosted a munch before, and it was fully little. Like, everyone was in little clothes. We had coloring, bubbles, a bunch of unhealthy food, and that's on me. So that's what I was expecting. So it was just kind of like a fail, to be
Well,
honest.
he understands probably that that's very different from, one of these bigger events, right? It seems like the smaller ones can be kind of hit and miss depending on your area,
Yes.
who's hosting it, who's attending.
It's definitely hit or miss, but he knows that it's basically a whole convention of ABDLs, so he's like, okay, we're not going to be the only ones, and I've told him about it, and he's talked to my friends before, and he's at that point where he's like, all right, let's do this.
That's cool. Is there anything you're planning to do since you've been twice to kind of make it easier on him once you get there?
Definitely. The first time I went, I had so much anxiety just because I didn't know what to do, where to go, who to talk to. And now that I've never actually had a little at the event. I've always been by myself, like, single. So it's just kind of like, now that I have him, I can just grasp onto him and just make sure he has his best little experience, because I've already had it.
That's so exciting. I would love to go with my little and like be the mommy role and like show them around and like see them playing and stuff. Like that would be so
Yes.
cute.
I mean, definitely. There's like, the cutest part is that there's this little ball pit. Oh my gosh, it's the cutest thing. And everyone, like, all you see is the littles in it, and they're like just misbehaving, of course, They're like throwing balls at each other. The first time I went to CapCon, I had a bunch of littles gang up on me and throw balls at me because they thought it was funny. Until I put them in timeout, and then they wanted to pout. I'm super excited for him to experience that. And then he also, like, we have a lot of friends in real life that are in this community, and they're going to CapCon. So it's kind of like we're not going alone, and he's going to be comfortable because he already has people that he knows are going to go there.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yes.
So when you go, are you guys going to both be little, like dress little, or are you going to split up the days to be like big and be little? What's the plan?
I think definitely we're probably going to do switching, but I do know that there's going to be one day where we're both going to be little, which is bad at times because I'm very stubborn, and it's just like he kind of always turns into a daddy when I'm little. Even when because he's just like, why? Like he's like, why do you do this? I'm like, because I can.
You're a brat, sounds like.
I'm such a brat. It's bad.
Yeah, I lost a bet to my little a few months back, and so I had to be little with him. And it's just a disaster when we're both little together because we're fighting over things, and I'm like overpowering him and like taking all his things away. Definitely.
Very overpowering too. I'm like, no, this is mine.
I'm like, I realize
you're not nice.
I realize you're bigger than me, but like still, I'm in charge here.
Oh, definitely. And it's so funny that it's like that because it's like one word I can say and he'll immediately become like melting into me and like little. And I'm just like, I'm so much smaller than you.
You have that effect though. You got that mommy energy, those mommy vibes.
The mommy vibes. It's like, I just look at him and he's like, all right, I'm done.
You give him the look. I know that look very well.
Oh yeah, the look that you better stop. And he's just like, I'm sorry. Yeah. He's already apologizing before I say anything.
Yep, I know, girl. I know. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. This was really fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, maybe I'll see you there next year at CapCon.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll definitely have fun then.
Ooh, okay. Let's keep in touch then.
Okay, cool.
All right, bye, girl.
Bye.